The lights were blinding. Thousands of faces blurred into one endless sea of eyes, and all of them were staring at her. The girl's name was Lila Summers, just 10 years old. She stood at the very edge of the grand stage of Britain's Got Talent, clutching the microphone so tightly that her little hands trembled. The host had just introduced her. "She's only 10 years old, everyone. Please give a warm welcome to Lila Summers." The audience clapped politely, expecting another cute kid performance, maybe a sweet song, maybe a little dance. But what they didn't know was that this girl wasn't just here to perform. She was here for something much deeper. Lila's father stood backstage, his eyes red from tears. Her mother, Clara Summers, had passed away just 3 months earlier, a sudden illness that took her away before Lila could even say goodbye. Her mom had been her biggest fan, the one who taught her to sing, to believe, to dream. And now, she was gone. But Lila was determined to do this, not for fame, not for the judges, not even for the crowd. She wanted to sing for her mother. "Whenever you're ready," Simon Cowell said softly, his tone surprisingly gentle. Lila nodded, her small chest rising and falling rapidly as she took a deep breath. The soft piano began. She was supposed to start singing. But the words wouldn't come. She stared out at the crowd, rows upon rows of people, and her throat closed. Her voice cracked, her lip trembled, and then, she froze completely. The music kept playing for a few seconds before fading away. The entire auditorium fell silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Simon leaned forward slightly, concern crossing his usually composed face. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" he asked gently. But Lila couldn't speak. Her hands shook violently. Her eyes filled with tears, and before she could stop it, she let out a soft sob into the microphone. I'm sorry," she whispered. "I can't." The audience gasped. A few people exchanged glances. Some even frowned. They had seen nervous kids before, but this was different. The little girl's tears sparkled under the stage lights as she bowed her head in shame. Just then, from the judges' table, a woman's voice spoke, Amanda Holden. "Take a deep breath, darling. It's okay. You're safe here. Take your time." Lila nodded weakly, tears streaming down her face. But she still couldn't move. Her knees felt like jelly. Backstage, her father's hands were pressed together. He whispered under his breath, "You can do this, baby, remember what mommy told you, just sing from your heart." Lila closed her eyes. And suddenly, in her mind, she could hear it, her mother's voice. "Greater than, if you ever feel scared, just imagine I'm right there with you, holding your hand." Lila took one shaky breath. And whispered to herself, "Okay, mommy." The crowd waited. Seconds felt like hours. Then, like a gentle breeze, she lifted her head, wiped her eyes, and looked straight at Simon. "Can I try again?" she asked softly. Simon nodded. "Of course you can." The pianist began once more. This time, something was different. The first note left her lips, pure and trembling, like fragile glass. But then it grew stronger. Warmer. Deeper. Her voice filled the auditorium, echoing off every wall, every heart. She sang, "You are my sunshine," but not the way people usually did. She sang it as a goodbye, as a love letter to her mother, every note soaked in emotion, every lyric heavy with grief and love intertwined. "Greater than, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." The audience fell silent again, but this time, not from shock. From awe. People began to cry quietly in their seats. A mother in the front row wiped away tears. A man took off his glasses and held them in his hand, staring at the little girl as if seeing his own child. Simon Cowell's usual stoic expression began to falter. His eyes glistened. By the second verse, Lila's voice had transformed completely. It was angelic, hauntingly beautiful. The kind of sound that doesn't just fill a room, it fills your soul. As she sang the final line, her voice broke. She placed her hand over her heart, whispering the last words through tears. "Greater than, please don't take my sunshine away." When the last note faded, there was nothing. Just silence. The kind of silence that only comes after something truly powerful. Then, one person stood. Then another. And another. In moments, the entire auditorium was on its feet. A standing ovation. The applause roared through the hall, echoing like thunder. People were clapping, cheering, shouting her name. Lila gasped, hands covering her mouth in disbelief. Tears rolled freely down her cheeks again, but this time, they weren't from fear. They were from release. From love. From pride. Simon pressed the golden buzzer. Confetti exploded from the ceiling in a rain of gold. Lila fell to her knees, crying uncontrollably. Her father rushed onto the stage, lifting her into his arms. He was crying too, no longer the strong man holding everything together, but a father who had just witnessed his little girl find her voice again. Simon walked up to them, his hand on Lila's shoulder. That, he said softly, was one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen on this stage. He looked her in the eyes. You reminded all of us why music exists, to heal hearts. Amanda was wiping away tears. Your mom would be so proud of you, sweetheart. Lila smiled through the confetti. I think she was here, she whispered. The cameras zoomed in on her face, tiny, tear-streaked, glowing under the golden light, and the world watching from home felt it too. Somewhere out there, in millions of living rooms, people sat frozen, crying quietly, touched by something pure and real. That night, back at the hotel, Lila sat by the window with her golden confetti clutched in her palm. The moonlight reflected softly on her face. Her father walked in, smiling gently. Can't sleep. She shook her head. I keep hearing her voice, she said softly. Mom's voice. When I was singing, I felt like she was holding my hand. Her father's eyes shimmered. That's because she was. He knelt beside her, brushing her hair away from her eyes. She never really left, Lila. She's in your voice now. Every time you sing, you bring her back to life, for you, and for everyone who listens. Lila looked down at the golden confetti in her hand, one tiny star-shaped piece glinting under the light. She'd be proud, wouldn't she? He smiled. She already is. Outside, the city lights sparkled like stars scattered across the sky. Lila pressed her forehead to the glass and whispered one last time. Greater than, good night, Mommy. I hope you heard me. And somewhere, in the quiet of the night, she swore she felt a gentle warmth brush against her cheek, like a kiss carried on the wind. She smiled. And for the first time in a long while, she felt peace.